RV for Penelope, she's a 1983. When you know friends from the Netherlands, bad and Penelope, and I'm taking pictures and patterns of design. Penelope loves driving till the end of time. Well, RV-licious, if you like a vibe, please subscribe, please subscribe.
In our previous video you saw us finally reaching the Netherlands after having spent the last 2 months stranded in Spain with a broken down camper van with a blown up engine. And if that by itself is not stressful enough, our camper van, called Penelope II, chose to break down on the highway at the height of the global corona pandemic, with Spain being one of the countries with the most reported corona cases. And now, after a few weeks of being back in the Netherlands, it still feels weird. Especially after having lived through the strict Spanish quarantine. In the Netherlands, we were one of the only ones respecting the social distancing and wearing our masks in public places, like fuel stations and grocery stores. But even though we have arrived in the Netherlands, that is not yet the end of this story. We will have to face one final challenge, the MOT, or yearly vehicle safety inspection. But before we tell you how that turned out, we need to start where this story begins.
If you are familiar with our YouTube intro, then you know that we started our van life by buying an old RV, a Mercedes from 1983, called Penelope I. We took her on a grand road trip through Europe, from Amsterdam through Belgium, France, Spain, and finally our destination, Portugal. But when we were back in the Netherlands, we got some bad news. Our old van wouldn't make it through the safety inspection anymore, and so we had to search for another van. Easier said than done, especially on the low budget we had at the time. We saw some nice vans for sale that we really liked, from around 4,000 to 5,000 euro, and some less nice vans for sale for questionably low prices. With the safety inspection end date in sight, and the little money that had come in through viewer donations, we ran out of time and had to buy a van quickly for half the price of the decent ones we saw. This meant really having to scrape the bottom of the very low budget barrel, and we ended up going through our list of earlier rejected camper vans again.
We had seen a decent-looking Peugeot Boxer camper van with a custom factory Challenger conversion built in. We asked ourselves, why is it so cheaply offered? What's the catch? We decided to find out and took it for an exciting test drive. Test drive! Ooh, yes.
But we're test driving,
Yep.
and it drives super, I must say. Yeah, but it is.
Yeah, that is. We found a new one.
This might be the one.
Yes, might be the one.
Let's seal the deal.
Awesome. By the end of it, we were over the moon. We couldn't find any flaws and decided to buy it. We traded in our old van against the Peugeot Boxer 2, which was pretty emotional.
Barely a day later we figured out why the van had been on offer so cheap. We had to call in advance, and the van had obviously been warmed up before our test drive. But with the first cold start, it created a plume of smoke so grand that we knew we wouldn't make much friends parking next to other camper vans.
Yes.
It wouldn't start this morning.
No.
I was like, what?
That was the...
And it didn't start, and there was blue smoke, and I was like, oh man. Oh man. We bought the cat in the bag. Had we known of this smoke issue beforehand, we would have never even considered buying it in the first place, no matter how desperate we were to buy a van. But now we were stuck with this Peugeot Boxer, and more problems revealed themselves swiftly. The air blower didn't work, and both driver and passenger door windows wouldn't open, which was quite a conundrum in the rain and almost caused us to cancel our next big wintering trip towards Portugal.
Our ventilation to defog the windows is not working quite like it's supposed to.
As you can see, it's very dangerous and annoying. And we're now thinking, should we go back to the Netherlands and have it fixed, because it's just dangerous to drive. Distracting from driving.
Yes.
Constantly.
It is. Jeez.
So either we go back or we drive towards the sun.
Yes. It was already end of October, and most of our camper friends had already left towards their wintering destinations. And here we were in the Netherlands with a freshly bought, heavy smoking van with a completely unknown maintenance history. We knew we needed to find a digital nomad job fast, as we were nearly out of money. But we also knew staying another winter in the Netherlands would cost us a fortune on heating. So we spent whatever money we had left on getting a solar panel.
What's that?
Solar panel?
Wow, 100 watt solar panel.
Panneau solaire.
At least we got the box of a solar panel.
At least, yes. I'm sure it's in here. This was crucial to us, as the year before we went to the sunny countries without one, which made us crazily dependent on the very few free electricity spots along the route.
We have to win the race for the power. Bad news on the power race. Yep. Seems like we're losing it. Is a British dude. He's going over there now. We could beat him to it, were not for the fact that his wife is already guarding the spot with a huge dog. All the power cables lead to this mysterious bag. Let's see what's underneath.
But I don't think there's any space left. I think there's no electricity left for us.
That means we're going on. We're going on?
Yes, I guess we have to. Yeah.
Now we're going again, buddies.
Yes. So, if we were returning to the sunny countries, a solar panel would have to be an essential part of our gear.
Our plan was to find a warm enough spot to put out the solar panel and get to work. But because we left so late in the season, all we were faced with was wet November weather. And the van would smoke. And smoke some more. And at some point it wouldn't even start anymore. So, I'm not going anywhere. Petra's pressing the little thingies, but it doesn't really help, I think. So let's take you through this again. It's very wet. I mean, it's very wet today. And so I press this button. Something should happen now. But it doesn't.
It does not.
And what it is, could be the wetness.
Yes.
But if I start now, it just won't start.
No.
So I'm gonna just keep trying it until it makes a connection. Without the preheating of the diesel, it just won't start.
Yeah.
And then we're not going anywhere.
Eventually, we made it to the Spanish village of Bovera, where we finally landed a digital nomad job doing transcription work. There was enough work for the months November and December, so we just needed to keep the free electricity going.
The digital nomad's nightmare has occurred in Bovera, buddies.
Yep.
We woke up. I was like, something's wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
The electricity is off. So we go from delivering quality content, working 11 hours a day,
Yep.
to working 0 hours a day. Yeah, here we are. We got to meet the deadline.
Yes.
We cannot wait for the power to magically turn itself on again.
No, we can.
So we have to get up and find an alternative location today.
Yes.
Which is not easy on a low budget.
No.
Because we're working, but we're only going to get paid in 2 months.
Yes.
60 days, so yeah.
And if we don't meet the deadline, we're not going to get paid.
If we don't meet the deadline, we're not going to get paid at all. So we took the ultimate challenge upon us. Driving to Portugal for free power. A 1200 kilometer journey with possibly facing a mechanical breakdown, or arriving in Portugal just to find out that all electricity spots are already taken up by other full-time winterers. Hello, buddies. We are at the Campersport, the Amexel cork factory. We are very lucky to have found electricity and that we did not drive all those kilometers for nothing. So now we're gonna go back in the camper van and work, but I wanted to show you guys. There's the cork. I can't zoom in on it, but there's a better picture, a better photo book. So we have electricity. I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yes.
Vámonos.
With the free electricity secured, we worked our asses off. We even worked non-stop through Christmas and New Year. The only thing we did not account for was again bad weather.
It happened. Vámonos.
Yes. Vámonos. Indeedos. Luckily, some viewer donations had come in, so we could aim for a paid campsite with the ease and security of electricity, as long as the storms wouldn't knock it off.
Hello, buddies. We have been a few days in Messiana, Portugal. We were here last year for 1 day. It costs us €7 per day, including electricity. And we are working, grinding for our deadline. We got the doors open here, we got the doors open there. So, should be fine. There's a nice breeze coming in. And yeah, short pants are on. So, what more can we ask for? We got work.
We made the deadline.
Yeah. Now the deadline was met, the waiting game began, and we finally had some time to test out our solar panel. It means we have achieved complete independence from the power grid.
Yes.
For making our videos. The solar panel is the buy of the century.
Yes, it's a game changer.
Yeah, 100%.
The van wouldn't start anymore. Luckily, with the help of our handy camper friend Paul, we got the van up and running again. And this time, we had the funds to get the van repaired and up to par. It's almost 6:45 in the evening, and we're driving back to Amekshan.
Hello, biddies. Wow.
You're very badly visible, but
it was
a long day.
A long day. We were very hungry. The van sounds like new.
Yes,
much better. The new filters and everything.
Yeah.
We had to pay 425 euros.
Yeah.
That was the...
For everything.
For everything.
Together.
So, filters, oil change, new distribution belt, the water pump belts, things.
Yeah.
It's much quieter than ever.
Yeah, she's purring. I hear it just as whispery as you do, I think. On the road again. We're going to Saubras de Apotel to get Penny some new tires.
New shoes for Penelope because it's our home. It's our transportation.
Yeah.
It's important to stay on top of it.
Yep.
This is the first time we have the budget to do it, which is super awesome.
Yes. Historical moment. 4 new tires for Penny. So let's see how she drives.
Yeah, that's pretty. Feels amazing.
Yeah, it feels like we're floating.
Yeah.
Now we're going
shopping.
Supply run.
So 300 euros and 76 cents.
Well, that's reasonable.
It was a huge chunk out of our money because
but worth it.
It's either we use the money to pay all the bills for the rest of the year, or we pay the money to be ahead with the maintenance.
Yep.
Or to keep up with the maintenance. And we chose to do that because it's our home.
Yeah, it's a home and better, hopefully, on the long run. So
Then everything changed. We just had our distribution belts, pumps and filters replaced and new tires installed when the European countries started to call back their citizens due to the corona pandemic. In our snug spot in Portugal though, wide and far from any outbreak, the local authorities gave everyone permission to stay, only to change their mind a few weeks later.
being kicked out of Portugal at the last minute, we were told we would have 3 more days to reach and cross the border into Spain, before all borders between countries would be closed. So we decided to drive back to the Netherlands. Through the heart of the countries most affected by the corona outbreak, Spain and France. The very same and first very kind local authorities who told us we could stay, now sent us straight into the danger zone.
There is kind of a risk in them sending us away because now we're exposed to have to drive to areas where the coronavirus is more present.
We have to go through the infected countries, so
we just have to take the shortest route home, which is 26 hours of driving.
But having invested in upgrading our camper van, we felt more confident than ever before we would face no mechanical issues or breakdowns along the way.
Okay, I think we
need to call roadside assistance.
You hear it sizzling?
Oh yes, you do.
It might be the end of van life right here.
Somebody screaming.
Nou, normaal gesproken, als de mensen afgesleept worden, dan gaan we bij de transporteur in de cabine.
Oh, so. We're gonna send somebody over. It will be a tow truck. But because of the coronavirus, you're not allowed to sit next to the driver of the tow truck.
No, of course.
So they're gonna send a cab to pick us up. So while we're waiting for the tow truck, we are making an emergency backpack. I'm getting some extra clothing because we might not be able to get the van back to the Netherlands. It has to go from Spain through France to Belgium. And with coronavirus, we might have to abandon the van for a while. So we're making like bug out bags. Let's see, take it from there. Bye bye solar panel. We did our best to get the van in perfect order.
Yeah.
We went to the garage, the tire place. We had our buddy Paul help us.
Yep.
The nearest and only garage that was still open was 110 kilometers away. Because we were not allowed to sit next to the tow truck driver, a taxi was called to pick us up. An hour and a half later we arrived at the Peugeot dealer in Ciudad Rodrigo, right back near the Portuguese border. The Peugeot mechanic looked 20 seconds at our engine and decided it was not worth the trouble. He said, "Motor poof," and that was it. To make it worse, our roadside assistants told us that our van was not worth enough money to tow it back to the Netherlands. They said we needed to take a recovery plane back to our country and leave the van behind to be scrapped.
We registered for a recovery flight back to the Netherlands, which caused several other issues. Not only would we have to pay €300 per person for a plane ticket, we also needed to reach the airport ourselves. And the only airport doing recovery flights was not the one in Madrid, near us, but in Malaga, hundreds of kilometers away. At that time there were no trains or buses going anywhere in any direction, and you were not allowed to sit in a taxi anymore together. which would mean a massive taxi bill if we would find 2 taxi drivers crazy enough to take us that far. Would crossing provinces even be possible? We also went onto the Facebooks to communicate with Dutch Spanish Embassy and the City Hall of Ciudad Rodrigo. And we joined a lot of hitchhiking and camper groups asking for a possible ride-along if anyone would be brave enough to pick up 2 strangers during social distancing due to a deadly virus going along.
Soon it would become clear that no help was coming. This would be our new normal.
So we were stranded at the side of the garage of an unwilling mechanic for nearly 2 months. In that time he offered us no help whatsoever. Never asked us if we needed anything like water or supplies or even a mask. He just ignored us while fixing other Spanish cars. Out of desperation, we made a video trying to start our van ourselves. Yes, it's coming out. It is coming out. Yep. But that's a normal house.
The water is...
Yeah.
The mechanic is thinking, what are they doing? Over there, but he's not coming over.
Mechanical experts who watched our videos all said that fixing the van was probably as simple as changing the head gasket. But to be sure of anything, they said, any mechanic would have to open up the motor block to have a look. Only then any conclusion can be made for certain about the state of the engine.
Meanwhile, communication with our roadside assistants wasn't going much better either. We were dealt inexperienced employees, and the employees of the Dutch branch and Spanish branch kept giving us contradictory information.
U bent verbonden met de ANWB-alarmcentrale.
De garagehouder heeft een kennis en in principe een huisje voor Casa Rural. Nou, daar kunt u dan logeren. Het enige punt is dat vanwege die corona de burgemeester daar een akkoord voor moet geven. Dus mijn collega in Barcelona gaat maandagmorgen met de alcalde, met de burgemeester belden. Om daar een noodakkoord voor te krijgen.
Heeft u gebeld met de burgemeester van Ciudad Rodrigo dan?
Nee meneer, ik praat niet met de burgemeester van Ciudad Rodrigo, dat gaan wij niet doen. Mijn collega in Barcelona gaat maandagmorgen de burgemeester belden. Ga niet met de burgemeester praten, over een hotel. Burgemeester belden. Wij gaan niet met burgemeesters praten. Burgemeester belden.
Oh.
Burgemeesters hebben andere belangrijkere dingen te doen.
Okay, well that's weird. This guy.
We ended up getting a translator recommended through our embassy called Rosa Telders. She is awesome and she helped us free of charge. If you ever need a translator, she is the one you want. With Rosa in our corner, things suddenly seemed to move along. Thanks to her, we learned that the mechanic did want to fix our van. Well, not fix it by just replacing the head gasket, but replacing the engine entirely for a scrapyard one, for which he initially charged us €2,400 and 11 cents. It seemed that paying our way through this would be literally our best and only option.
Then something remarkable happened. Suddenly donations started to flow in from all over the world. The good news is,
Drumroll!
we did!
Hey!
We raised the money. Believe it or not, it's a fact.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I have the feeling that many of the viewers empathize with us, sympathize with us for being stranded with this kind of mechanical problem in a corona outbreak.
Yeah.
And not having the support of our own families also makes it an extra difficult situation, because they're basically telling you we don't care about your life and your safety. No. And yeah, so for me personally, and I think for Petra personally, if I may speak for you too, it means extra much to us that that viewers have stepped up and said,
YouTube family,
we got you, we got your backs, we want you guys on the road again, we want you guys being happy making videos again.
Mm-hmm. So we gave the green light on the engine replacement, and we were smuggled into a hostel in secret to wait during the days of repair on our van.
Where are we?
Not in our van.
I see a bed.
Yes.
A real toilet.
Amazing.
A shower.
Yeah. And this, of course, is a little balcony. Wow. Awesome.
I had to go into the garage, sign the paper for the work order. There was no amount on it, just had to give a copy of my passport, a copy of my car registration. They printed it out, I signed it, and they'll call us when it's done. We just got a phone call that the mechanic found other issues with the van, and he said the clutch needs to be repaired. The fabric covers of the axles need to be replaced because there was no grease on them, and wheel bearings, one of the wheel bearings needs replacing. It's €320 extra. And now they got us on the hook, so this is exactly what we feared, is that there would be added costs. And the upside, the van will be better when it's done.
As soon as we left the garage, the van immediately showed new issues. The horn didn't work anymore, and uphill there was significant loss of power. And after the first hour and a half of driving, the DPF light decided to turn itself on as well again.
We stopped for a second.
Pit stop.
Check the oil, check the coolant, it's good. But we notice that in the uphills we lose power. As soon as it goes uphill, we drop in speed. On the highway we dropped to 60 uphill. This is not good. It wasn't even steep, just a long track going upwards. Now we're driving 60 on the highway.
62.
We continued our journey towards the Netherlands with not much trouble. We crossed the checkpoint into France, thanks to printing out the right documents.
we encountered no checkpoint crossing into Belgium or into the Netherlands, and now we are back.
With one final obstacle remaining, the MOT and Dutch the APK, the Vehicle Safety Inspection. After so many bad luck with our Peugeot Boxer, will the APK gods be kind to us?
And of course, because Penelope did a great job and we had a lot of stress, we're giving her a bath. The first bath since we bought her. The pathway is over here. And meanwhile, while Peter was washing Penelope, I did the first part. We are also doing our laundry. So it's clean clothes, spoiling Penelope. The reward for everything, huh? You like cleaning, Penelope?
Yes, I do.
You want another refill?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. And we got a whole wallet of euro coins. Also be careful. It's a slippery slope. Putting in the coin. Looks clean. Oh, awesome. So, there's a little treat for being back in the Netherlands. So this is what she's supposed to look like.
We're on our way to get Penny to the MOT to get her approved for another year, hopefully.
And we're not driving around because we've been standing still for a few days. The van starts up instantly.
Yes.
Hopefully to get it approved. We know it's good because it brought us from Spain to the Netherlands.
Yep.
But we need to know what else, what are the unknowns. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, here it is, but it's big.
Yes, but it's... Go, go, go. The biker was not there yet, so... Let's see...
Yeah. This is where we're gonna leave the van.
Yes. All brands, service, repair, tires, airco, MOT. They do all sorts of things. There's already somebody.
See, at least the light works.
Yes. Yes, but it's look. You see her? Yes, but it's
Where's Penelope?
behind you. Yeah. Maybe.
Exciting.
Exciting.
Yes, nerve-wracking. It is.
Oh, well, opening. Hello, buddies. Hello, Petra.
Hello.
Where did we go?
Well, to the MOD, of course. And yeah. We didn't, Penny didn't make it.
Come sit next to me.
Penny didn't get through.
Wow. So, the story is not over yet.
No.
Maybe it is a haunted van.
It is.
We went to the Autocrew garage. We paid 40 euros for the checkup, and it's included everything. It's a bit more expensive because they say they do a bit more accurate judgings. And we turn on the lights because it's raining outside. It's the Netherlands and it's dark inside the van.
Yep.
It's not evening, it's morning.
It is.
We brought the van around 8:30, and at 10 o'clock
Yeah.
they found us up. We were at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Getting a McDonald's on.
Yes.
And it'll probably be the last McDonald's for a while. We just went there because it's the only thing open.
Open, dry,
And dry.
warm.
But yeah, to sit inside you need to order something.
Of course.
So that's why we went there.
Yep.
It's yeah. We got very bad news, unfortunately. It was, they say the van needs a lot of work to get through the MOT. And that's very bad news.
Yes.
They made a little list for us. As you can see, it's a pretty long list. Pretty long list.
Yes.
Two blinker lights, white, front side, don't work. Two city lights, front side, don't work. The headlight adjuster doesn't work. There's no brake lights. The brakes.
Left front.
The brake line left front is bad, needs to be replaced. The steering wheel bowl, steering wheel bullet, steering wheel ball, I don't know how to translate it.
No.
Right front needs to be replaced. And then, that's the good news, that's not the most expensive, it's just a few €100 if it was only that. It feels like we're back where we started with our old van.
Yes.
Yeah, it's rust. It needs welding, and needs a lot of welding.
Yeah.
The sides of the beams, right front and left front, need welding. The beams at the back need welding. The door pull is loose, rusted loose, detached. The wheel door pull, I don't know, I'll translate later. Door pull in Dutch. Welding right beam behind at the spring suspensions. The more welding at the bottom.
They applied polyester as a fix or something, and they said you just hammer through it. You punch through it.
Yeah.
And multiple welding, half baked weld, half done, multiple welding.
Yeah.
They said the van has been patched up already by,
Dat was obvious.
and it's been patched up before, and it's not done properly enough, so it
Won't get you.
you don't see it directly because we did look underneath.
Yes.
But they say it's patched up, so it looks alright, but if you hammer it gently, it comes loose. He said there's so much welding all over the bottom of the van to be done, at the bottom and the beams and everywhere, that it was hard for them to say where exactly it was. They came to an amount of 1,600 euros, and 1600. I think he said 1,630 euros. He didn't put a price on the paper here, but you can see here it's in Dutch. City light, a lot of lights, brake lines. But you see laswerk, that means welding, and that word laswerk means welding in Dutch. You see that a lot, and that's yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Penny Tree, what do you think? So, Betty's been staring at this crumpled piece of paper, and it's crumpled because I've been looking at it a lot. It's the Autocrew invoice for the vehicle safety inspection, the APK, for which we paid $39.99, and this is like they say technical inspection, and these are the flaws that they supposedly found. And after the initial shock that we got, hello paper, it suddenly, I mean, thanks to a big shout out, of course, Paul, a friend, camper friend, which we met in Portugal, who helped us out.
Yep.
He fixed the windows going up and down, he fixed the air blower, he got the van started again, and a ton of other chores that I forgot to mention now, but we know you did them too. He was very curious, of course, if our van would make it through the APK or MOT. Especially, as you guys know, the van has been smoking since we bought it the first day. And Paul advised us to put in injector cleaners. Every time we filled up, we put in injector cleaners to clean the whole system out, to reduce the smoke. So Paul wanted to know, of course, did it pass the emission tests? When we let him know, like we went, and it was rejected. And he said, did you pass the emissions test? And we said, well, it's not on this crumpled piece of paper. I said, I suppose so. And then it kept haunting me, and I phoned them up the same that afternoon, and they said, well, we didn't do an emissions test, it just didn't smoke, so we assumed it would be fine. And what normally you get a little sheet of paper, we got one last year for our other van, giving you the results, which is interesting, especially if you know your numbers, it's interesting. So they didn't do one.
No.
After all the things we did the whole year to get rid of the smoke, and And probably what got rid of it was they changed out the engine for another one, and maybe they put the injectors of the other engine in.
Yeah.
Or it was smoking because of the blown head gasket or other things, we don't know. But it now doesn't smoke anymore. But we're still curious about the emission test.
Yeah.
So when I knew they didn't do the emission test, I was thinking, what else didn't they do? And did they even do an APK?
They certainly did not honk the horn.
Now an official APK document looks like this. Well, this is not, usually it's in color, but it's an RDW, I should say. It's the Department of Road Traffic or Traffic Management in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
They're the guys who give you this document that you are valid for the road for another year. This one is almost expiring now. This is what it's supposed to look like. So if you put these two next to each other, you already see the differences. And so I've been, even if you get rejected, you're supposed to get an official document, and they just check the box. There's a little box that says rejected, and it should list, that's what this space is for, it should list all the flaws and that you need to fix to get a seal of approval document. Now I've been looking into this, and I contacted Autocrew, contacted them, sent them an email. I posted on the Facebook to see if that had any result, but it didn't so far as to this point of this recording. And we said, look, we paid 40 bucks. Usually it's the half price, but this one is, Autocrew is recognized by Bovac and Bosch. So it should give you, as it says on the website, the confidence of a well executed MOT APK. Stress less. Well, stress more, of course, now. Okay, so what happened here? Usually garages, if they want to make a profit, because many people, us included, didn't know how it works exactly. They give you a sheet of paper with a list of flaws, and usually you say, okay, let's pay that, fix all those points, and that's how they make a profit. With this document, the advantage of this is that there's always a chance that the Department of Road Traffic, Vehicle Traffic Management in the Netherlands, they send out their own inspector to inspect the garage's job. So the moment the garage starts inspecting the van, the Department of Traffic Management doesn't know about it yet. The moment they're done inspecting it, they should, but they don't always do it obviously, they should then say, look, Department of Traffic Management, RDW in the Netherlands, we just inspected this van and it's been approved or it's been rejected. At that point, the Department of Traffic Management gets like the notification from the garage, which it's supposed to do at that point, and then it will automatically assign an inspector to come and check the work, or if you're lucky, the inspector won't come. It's a random process. It's like a 5% chance or less that you'll be selected. Then that just means that the garage has to keep the van there for another hour and a half, give the expected time to show up and do the re-inspection. If that would happen in this case, they might have said, look, inspector could have said, well, you done it well. He could have said, oh, you forgot the horn, which didn't work. Yeah. Because we fixed it ourselves yesterday because the fuse was blown. We replaced the fuse, but normally the first thing a good garage would do is press the horn. It's not, the horn's not on this list. No. So You could also say all that welding that you're mentioning is not necessary. We've been filming under the van ourselves, the bottom. It's not as much welding as they make out to be, according to us, but we don't know for sure.
No,
we're not experts. But that's what the inspection is for. If the garage says we reject it and it needs all the welding, and the inspector can reverse the verdict of a garage. There's a lot of power in an inspector. Inspector can say, no, it should be approved. You guys doing a bad job. And inspector can even pull the license away from a garage if they try to fraud or con people, scam people with repairs that are not necessary. So to avoid the inspector showing up, all the garage needs to do is do not notify the inspector that they just did a check. They just need to write an invoice
Technical inspection.
and just give us the invoice instead of the document. Because normally we're supposed to get at the end of the check, if they do the notification, they can print out this form. And this is, in all my years of owning cars, it's the first time I did get a form like that. But I apparently wasn't sharp on my toes. So what we should have done, which we learned also after the fact, the moment I don't get this form after they do the APK, I shouldn't drive away from the lot of the garage. I should say, look, if you don't give me this paper, I'm going to call up the RDW to come over. Yeah, I call them myself and I demand that they do a second opinion inspection.
Yeah.
The moment we drive off the lot, it's a win for these guys. Well,
Binding.
yeah, we can't complain anymore the moment we drive off the lot.
No.
And they know that, of course, so that's why they probably get away with this a lot. It's money in the bank for them. And the RDW never will be the wiser.
No.
So it's disappointing that Autocrew, which has garages with them all over the country, is so fraudulent. I'm not saying it's not correct what they found, but there's a possibility that it's not correct.
It's made up.
It's a possibility they made up flaws just to drive the price up and hoping we would pay it. And so we basically we're none the wiser. We need to know the emission test. We need to have it properly checked.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to go and find another garage. After all the things we've been through, after everything we've been through, we need to spend another 40 euros to get a second check from another garage. Garage that is that's hard because we don't have a regular garage yet in the Netherlands. We go to a different place every year until we find one that we trust.
That we trust, like.
And in the 5 years we've been doing the van life, we haven't found a garage yet that we trust. So it's stressful because
It is.
we feel like we've been conned by the Spanish mechanic. If he had done the trouble of opening the engine and checking the head gasket, it could have been a cheap repair. We feel already scammed. Now we're being scammed again in the Netherlands.
Yes.
And
that wasn't enough. They just poked holes in a place which was, according to us, perfectly fine.
yeah, there was the patch job done. If I say it correctly, polyester resin patch ups, which they punched holes through. And maybe they're supposed to do that. I mean, I've seen people punching holes with screwdrivers and hammers in rusty vans before.
Yeah. But
But yeah, it immediately makes a bad impression. First you look in the van, everything looks patched up, and now it doesn't. And maybe it is, maybe there's a lot of patchwork underneath, but with the best possibility that we look underneath it, we don't see the patchwork.
No.
At the front wheels, at the wheel arches, we see a little work.
Yeah.
But according to the auto crew people, it needed welding all over the back to front, middle, sides.
Yeah.
And we just can't imagine that. It's possible, but
Yeah.
we didn't spend the winter here in the Netherlands.
No,
we spent it
exactly.
in the warm countries.
Yeah.
So it's
Questionable.
it's questionable to say the least, because we asked for the APK, we got something else.
Yeah.
So you have to, they were not honest, so we have to hope in this case that their dishonesty and fraudulent nature works to our advantage, because it would only mean that there is a slight chance
Yes.
that it's not as bad as they made out
To be.
to be. They said it's around 1,630 euros
Really do.
of repairs, and if we spent another 40 euros to get a cheaper verdict, or more, I mean a realistic verdict,
Yeah.
that's what we're aiming for,
Yeah, exactly.
then that would be a good thing.
Wicked. Yeah.
But yeah, like we said, we've been pouring huge amounts of resources into this van since we had it.
Yeah.
And we only had work before the corona crisis. We had a good job. And all that money is, how do you say it? If water, sunlight dries up the water, dampens. Yeah, it's gone. It's vanished.
It's finished.
So you say, well, spend another 40 euros. So 40 euros is also a few days of groceries.
Yes, yes.
And it's, yeah, so that's a practical issue also.
Yeah.
So we're basically none the wiser.
No.
We would have hoped to finish this video saying, look guys, it's approved for another year. If everything is true what they found at this garage, it means we are facing a bill of 1,600 euros in a month. Yeah, I was hoping for the happy ending. I don't see it yet. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Thank you.
And of course our shout-outs. See if we know them by heart. Hans Mertens, Rick and Linda Conley,
Yep.
Piero Van Vie, Emily and Co,
Yep.
Modigazzi Travels,
And last but not
oh,
least.
Modigazzi the Browns, I should say.
Yeah.
The Modigazzi the Browns,
And last but not least.
Gary Doubleday.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. So, oh yeah, it's international. So Hans Mertens and Piero Van Vie, they're from Belgium.
Yep.
Gary Doubleday is from the UK. Emily and Co is from the Netherlands.
Thank you.
Modigazzi the Browns is from the USA.
Yeah.
And Rick Conley and Linda Conley,
Also.
the Conleys,
Yeah.
also from the USA, of course.
Yeah.
So, did we miss any?
Yep.
So, yeah, see, it's already hard for us to remember, so we challenge you to make the list of members and supporters so long that we'll have even more trouble by heart remembering them. But
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.